All right, man. So we in this era of Jaden Ivey, right? Oh, we should have got kept Jaden Ivey. You hear people say, "Well, they should have what? He ain't doing nothing in Chicago." Like, no disrespect, y'all know I love young boy. He ain't doing shit in Chicago. Shout out to my Philly boys. He ain't doing nothing over there. So that wasn't the answer. That he over there talking about I'm not the same player, and give it a year removed from the injury, bro. He don't have the confidence, so he wasn't gonna help you. And when you didn't see them trying to develop Jaden Ivey, when you see them not trying to work him in, I told you I was like, they not even trying to work him into the system. You know what I'm saying? They not even trying to work him in to get him to be a starter. And like I said before, I just don't ever think he really was in their plans. He played well last year, shot the ball well. He just was, and they keeping Ivy would have just been gluing him to the bench. And you got to just ask yourself, what is the Pistons and Trajan Langdon looking for? Are they looking to see the jump that Asar and Ron make? Because I talked about a video with Kevin O'Connor. I forget the other guy he was on with. I forget his name. And they was talking, well, they have expendable pieces in Ron Hollins. Like, is that piece really expendable, or are they trying to develop the piece? That's the question to the outside world. Oh, yeah, they not that good. Like, at the end of the day, and then they turn out and they be pretty good somewhere. Oh, they should have kept it. That's why you don't listen to the media. They want to develop these players, see what they got. And I think that's just what it boiled down to. But for Ivy, I don't really get why people are saying, oh, they should have kept Ivy. They well, how was that going to help? He not necessarily lighting it up in Chicago. He not. Unfortunately, we should have a conversation about keeping Tim Hardaway Jr. That's the conversation that should be had. It's keeping Tim Hardaway Jr. That's the conversation that we need to be having. That's who they should have kept. Tim Hardaway Jr., Dennis Schroeder, but then again, we all are baffled by the lack of Sasser. We don't understand the lack of plan for Sasser. Like, how can Dennis Jenkins get a more of an opportunity than Marcus Sasser? That's the wild thing about it. That's the number one thing that we really don't understand. That's what we really don't understand is how is Schroeder, not Schroeder, but how does, Jenkins get, I just never understand. And also just going through the regimes, Monty didn't really like Marcus Sasser. So it's true. I think, what's the man's name? Troy Weaver draft. I think Troy Weaver might have drafted Marcus Sasser. I could be wrong on that. I think Troy Weaver drafted him. And maybe that's the only guy that liked him. And he gone, dog. So, yeah, I don't understand it. But Ivy wasn't going to say it today, bro. You got a better hopes that they clear Malik Beasley. And they won't. Especially if it's to help out the Detroit Pistons. If it was the LA Lakers, man, shit. Beasley would have been clearing in on the Lakers. So, I just don't understand. I seen it in the comment section. I seen Kevin O'Connor and old boy say it on they podcast. I did a video on it March 12th. It was up. I did it March 11th, but it was up March 12th. I'm just thinking, we should have kept. I said Ivy wasn't getting no motion over here. You know what I'm saying? So it must have been something that they seen that we not seeing, which he admitted to. Like, okay, I'm not the same player. It might be just lack of confidence. And, should they have made a better deal at the deadline? Yeah, we can say that. But we see the Hawks make a deal, and they went down the toilet drain when they got C.J. McCollum. We seen the Bucks make a deal for Damian Lillard, and it wasn't a good fit. So they know what fit. They know what they're trying to do. And hopefully they can find a guy that fit the bill. That's my thing. Hopefully they can find a guy that fit the bill, and maybe they will, maybe they won't. There were so many values they could have brought in, but maybe they just didn't feel like it was a fit. Or maybe they just not in the business of developing players. Because I feel like Ron Hollins should play a lot more than what he played. Maybe they just not in the business of developing young players. So that could be the case. Because the lack of development in the NBA is nasty right now. It's nasty work. You know? Coaches don't have patience, but then it's hard to have patience when you don't have job security. You know, these guys ain't got no patience. They don't try to develop these guys. And I get what people say, well, you in the NBA now, you should already know. Man, we get it. We definitely understand that part. We definitely understand it, but obviously this generation needs to be, needs a little bit different approach. But like I said before, I don't really get people saying, well, we should have just kept. They wasn't trying to work Ivy in. They weren't trying to get him. They was giving him pity minutes, and that's what you got to ask yourself. Like, man, when you look at guys like Herter, Sasser, you know what I'm saying? Ivy when he was there, like, why do certain guys get opportunity after opportunity to work in, but these guys don't? I would love to just pick JB's brain on that. Like, where is his trainer thought at when it comes to working these guys into the rotation? Because if you not giving me no consistent minutes, you constantly freezing me, playing me, how do I get a rhythm? How do I get a rhythm? That's what I be literally wanting to know. How they expect these dudes to get a rhythm if you constantly pulling me, playing me? Oh, I won't play for a few. Like, come on now. And that's the wild thing. Herter, he ain't shot the ball well in years, so I didn't really understand it. You go get a guy who ain't got a jumper in years. You thought Fred Vincent was going to fix that? I don't know. Maybe that's what they thought. Maybe they thought the looks in Detroit he'd be able to knock him down. Just like we need to dump Ivy. I'm tired of this shit. Let's get rid of this. I don't understand it. But I agree with people. They should have went for it. Realistically, that's my stance on it. They should have went for it and been aggressive. You know what I'm saying? With so many guys they could have added. But then again, you got team chemistry, personality chemistry, guys that they like, that they feel they can develop and finally get it together. So they see things behind the scenes that we don't. You don't want to bring a guy in and he mess up the whole camaraderie of the team. So, but hey, man, that is what it is. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Hit the link tree, find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, the whole nine. Peace.